Here we are back once again. It is I, yours truly, the maniac. I go by the name of Thando Nkonyana, the host of the Motivational Maniac podcast. Thank God it's Monday. Thank God it's Monday. Another segment of the current state of minds. One of my most favorite segments of the show. An opportunity for me to go solo. First of all, we greet this episode in the holy name of Shiva, the one who made us. We are thankful that we woke up in the right state of mind today. As of this recording, today would be the 20th of January. It's a motivational Monday at Glow 7 Media. That is my tech venture. But today is not about the tech venture. Today is about us reflecting on what this day has to bring for us. And man, I'd like to start off on a very gratitude note. First of all, I'd like to thank God for the fact that He made an opportunity. Almighty Shiva, I thank you that you still occupy my mind. You also are working in the background. But let me not forget that the power that you have is the power that you also invested in me. The reason why I'm talking about that is that we, as often as people, we always try to look for the outside to make things work for us. We always trying to look for this savior, and yet the savior is already within. Reason why I'm talking about this is because I found myself previously trying to think that there is going to be someone on the outside who's going to eventually come in, swoop in, and actually save me. But the hardest decision and also the hardest acknowledgement was the fact that I had to acknowledge that only I can save myself. Only I can save myself. And that if I don't look for the power to do that, then no one else will. We are too busy looking on the outside, what we already possess on the inside. And it does take a lot of belief. It does take a lot of questioning of yourself. It takes a lot of reflection. And most importantly, it takes honesty. In this journey, you have to be honest about what you want because it's gonna take a lot for you to get it. But you know, one thing I love, and I always refer to this, is that an elephant is not eaten whole; it's eaten piece by piece. And if you can just focus on being just 1% better, being 1% better is definitely defined by you as the person. But my journey has enabled me to face the hard stuff, and as hard as that was one of the most fundamental thing, and that was facing myself. You need to get into a habit of questioning everything, even the thing that works, because what works today won't work tomorrow, because things are constantly changing. And there are things that you do have control over. And this year for me is all about trying to focus on what I can control. And that is my attitude, that is my effort, that is my outlook, that is my action, that is my behavior. Because we don't want to be accountable for ourselves. We are so busy trying to impress. Who are you trying to impress? You came with nothing, you're going to leave with nothing. So the space between the time you were born and the space that you will die, in between that, that's totally your choice to make the best out of it. And the reason why is that every single day we make a choice. Kanyan Ntolana talks about you are your choices. So any choice that you make today, whether you want to decide I am going to be better than yesterday, that's a choice as well. And with choices comes risks. Every day is a risk. First of all, let's acknowledge the fact that today is a day that someone did not get an opportunity to see this day. If you are watching this, if you are still having breath in your body, it means that you woke up. The Almighty woke you up. He gave you another opportunity. We take breath so granted. We take it so for granted, sorry, to a point where we go on this trajectory of misery. And we forget that this trajectory is one that we chose for ourselves. The reason why you find me here on this Monday morning doing what I'm supposed to do, suffering for my success, is because I don't want to look back and say, what if? What if? There are certain words that once you start to take stock of them, then you realize that they don't work for you. Mr. Joshua Kula always talks about check your vocabulary. The reason why he will tell you to check your vocabulary is because the words that are in your vocabulary either will build or destroy you. They will either make things better or make things worse. And everything has to be faced. And I always like to reflect on the fact that wherever you are right now, the worst thing you could ever do now is make things worse. If you're already in a hole, the last thing you should be doing is digging yourself even deeper into that hole, putting your head in the sand, because you conquer nothing by avoidance. You conquer everything by confrontation. And within that confrontation, I want you to reframe things. The reason why I want you to reframe is because once you start to face the mountain, you realize that the mountain is not as hard to climb as it seems. Become a very good climber. And how do we become good climbers? We first of all take stock. I was not as good as I was. I'm not even as good as I am right now. And every day I want to wake up with the emphasis of that I can get better. It means that I can't settle. Settling is your biggest enemy. Why I'm telling you do not settle is because you're going to get complacent once you settle. You are going to be satisfied. Even the billionaire is trying to get even more billions. So why should you settle? First 2 weeks of January has been a roller coaster. I had this conversation with my business partner and he said, you know, one of the most important things that can make things better for you, because I was going through a tough period, and he said, back to basics. What do I mean back to basics? I mean fix your energy. Do the things that you know are going to make things better, and everything will tie back to your routines, your habits. You have a habit of meditating. You have a habit of working out. You have a habit of listening to motivational stuff. You have a habit of listening to affirmations. You have a habit of posting your content. You have a habit. And remember, no one inherently is born to be someone. We only become the people that we choose. So now I have to choose, who do I want to be? What does the future version of myself look like? What are his habits? What are his routines? What is he doing today to make things a whole lot easier for tomorrow? But irregardless of all those things, struggle is a guarantee. You're going to want to quit. You are going to want to give up. It's all right for you to feel that way, but don't give in to the feelings. Kanya has this beautiful analogy. Your head, which is your brain, is the one that's supposed to be making decisions. Head over heart. Your heart's job is to pump blood. Stop giving it even more responsibility. You can't think with your heart. And he emphasizes that go back on any decision that you made in an emotional state. Any decision, and tell me if that decision has ended up placing you in a good space. I'll wait. Head above heart. The reason why we say head above heart is because your mind can think 1 + 1 = 2. Your heart can't do that. Your heart can only feel and pump blood. So why are you giving your heart even more responsibility? It can't do that. It really can't. You don't understand how important this muscle called your brain is. And I call it fertile soil. The reason why I call it fertile soil is that anything you plant, you will reap. You plant bullshit, you reap bullshit. Don't forget, harvesting is only reserved for those who planted. What seeds are you going to plant today? Be intentional each and every day. You might not have the best form, Thando, but trust me, you are doing a whole lot better than who you were last year. You are doing a whole lot better than who you were 5 years ago. I don't care who's doing better than me, as long as I'm doing better than myself. So it means I shouldn't compare myself to who someone is today, but I should compare myself to who I was yesterday, who I was 5 years ago. And once you start realizing that you are your only competition, the only person you should try to get better than is you, the old version of yourself. Of course, it's going to be hard. Of course, you're going to be met with difficulty. But we should approach the pain. We should acknowledge the pain and realize that it's either we live with the pain of regret or the pain of discipline. Going further, in the background is another piece of greatness. The reason why I talk about greatness is the importance of self-affirmation. No one's going to pump you up. You need to pump yourself up. You need to be the self-start machine. Every single day you are choosing yourself. So also be mindful of your thoughts, because thoughts become things. Be mindful of what you speak to yourself. We're not even talking about the outside now. We're talking about the inside, the internal. Be careful of judging yourself. Be careful of being hard on yourself, because you can only do your best. But the one thing that makes things easy is acknowledgement. Taking your power back means that you have to face the harsher truth, the harsher reality. 2019, we were in that hyperbolic chamber, man. We had nothing. We had a relationship breakdown. We had the loss of the queen. And we had these big dreams, man. We wanted to start this podcast. But the circle didn't allow that. But when the circle doesn't allow that, who do you blame it on? You blame it on yourself. You blame it on you. What am I becoming because of the people that I'm around? Am I becoming better? When I talk about that, Kanye talks about the dangers of having good people in your life. You don't need good people. You need hungry people in your circle. People that are going to tell you, come on, let's go. You are lacking. You are here and you are down here. Come on, come on, come on. Get up. You can't be around lions that eat grass. There's a reason why the lion is the king of the jungle. He's not the biggest. He's not the smartest. But you know why the lion is the king of the jungle? It's because of mentality. It all starts here. If you can dedicate yourself to building this entity called your mind, this muscle will take you places that you've never been. But another important thing in within me being in this hyperbolic chamber is the power of visualization. I had to visualize, what does it look like me doing all the things that I want to do? I didn't have them. But then your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and visualization. When you can visualize already having it, get a feel of it. That's why alone time is so important. And Kanye also emphasizes that you are not always alone if you can enjoy your own company. Can you enjoy your own company? Do you always want to be around people because you are avoiding those fundamental thoughts that are going to remind you, yo, you are behind. You are behind on your dreams. You need to get up. You need to soldier on. You need to prosper. It's hard, man. It ain't easy. I think about my G, man. Man behind the real talks. My videographer. Blood. Real name Sungula Sitikyana. Being on multiple episodes. Taking our angles. Being there, inspiring me to put my work out there. We are all on different pathways, but moment of gratitude to you, my G. Appreciate you as a brother. You are what we call a hungry person. There's a reason why we have that circle of accountability. Another one, the modern day Pablo Picasso, Bongoletu Maholwane, B7 Universe. Greatness recognizes greatness. And then my best friend of 14 years, super engineer, producer, artist, photographer. Such a beautiful soul. Down South Goon, real name Lubabalo Chad Msipa. I can count real on one hand, man. One hand, man. Shout out also to Mr. Luyanda Sidia. Such a pivotal part of this concrete jungle. We're taking stock, man. We gotta give gratitude to those who are contributing positively. The people that will make us face our reality. They will make us face the hardship. No one is meant to take away from what you already have. And your inner circle is supposed to support you. Why am I saying support you? They're not going to agree with everything that you do. But the last thing that you need is people that are going to drag you down. People that are going to be jealous of what you are doing. I found myself in many positions where I had to let go. It's time for you to let go, Thando. Let go of what was, so that what is and what will be can come in. There's a reason why they are no longer in your life. They weren't ready to handle you. They were not ready to handle your success. When you give opportunity for the bullshit to leave, now prosperity can come in. It's time for you to let go. Touch and go. Be grateful that it happened, but soldier on. Only you can make it a reality. But young man, I want to tell you how proud I am of you. I'm very proud of the person that you are becoming. I'm very proud of the decisions that you've made and the decisions that you still need to make. It's in the darkness that you create, and in the light shall it come. Kanye always likes to leave me with these things. I wrote a status the other day, last year, 2024, and I said on that status, at the end of the tunnel is the light. And he responded to me, sometimes there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes you are the light. Dang. I got amazing people in my life, bro. I got amazing people, and it matters, man. That's why I say you don't need a lot. Only a few good men. Only a few good men. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful for this device I'm using. Thankful for this microphone. Thankful to those who still watch the show, reach out. Thankful to those who even watch the show but don't reach out. Thankful to those who are interacting with our content on social media. Because that is my marketing mecca. Thankful. And I want to remind you maniacs that starting is the hardest thing. It's going to be the hardest. But you need to start. Start what you have. Embrace your humble beginnings. Take stock and acknowledge. Don't be ashamed. I'm doing this in my own home. My first home. And I'm proud. You should be proud, Thando, of all that you have prevailed over. Some would have faltered. But you know what? Here you are. Still at it. Still being it. Nobody is in my way except myself. If I don't get the reality that I seek, it's on me. Blame game ain't gonna help no one. Excuses are for the weak. But remember, it's a choice. So what choice are you gonna make today? Are you gonna decide, I'm sick and tired of the excuses I'm making, and I'm just gonna start taking action? Or am I gonna remain complacent? Young men, especially young men, there's a pandemic out there. In society, we don't have a lot of good role models. We don't have benchmarks. But they don't mean that we can't be the benchmark. We are the new generation of fathers, brothers, partners, businessmen, podcasters, tech advisors, you name it. But you know what? You can't be part of the problem. You already see that the problem is already there. The worst thing you could ever do is become part of the problem. So, if you can't find any, you're not looking enough. The power of where I am right now, I'll also attest it to the internet, YouTube especially. My mentors were people that I was watching their content, from podcasters to the likes of DJ Smooth, Paniel the Black Pen, Vusi Tembekwayo, Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Stephen Bartlett, Jim Rohn, Sadhguru, John C. Maxwell. I can name a lot. Robin Sharma, Gary Vaynerchuk, also known as Gary V. You have all these people, man. You have access to them. And we live in such a privileged part of history where you don't even have to see people physically for them to inspire you. This podcast is in over 20 countries, all through the power of the internet. So, young men and young women, I want you to stop looking down on yourself. I want you to realize the power of what social media has. Our ancestors didn't have this privilege where you can be in one part of the world and you can watch another person in another part of the world. Why are you not taking advantage of this? Yes, you're going to be judged, but at the end of the day, you need to do the work, man. I had to face the work. And facing the work means, obviously, you're going to get judgment. But you know, one thing I've learned about life, whether you do something or you don't do something, you're going to get judged. Whether you become someone or you don't, you're going to get judged. Even not taking a risk is a risk itself. So you might as well take the risk. Fail your way to success. Because with each and every failure comes the lesson. I don't believe in losses, I believe in lessons. Opportunity for you to get back on the drawing board. As an avid football fan, not every game you're going to be at your best. But the power of you being able to take losses, that's going to separate you from the rest, man. The reason why I say I'm cut from a different cloth is because I try to have a mindset that is not like someone else's. I'm impressible, yes. But most importantly, I'm teachable. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. Be teachable. Remain humble, man. And also, don't be afraid to tell people that they inspired you. This jealousy thing, it's real, man. It's reaching to the dark side. It's a dark emotion. It's a disease, in fact, and you can die from jealousy. And I want to remind you that when you start to shine your light, you are going to irritate other people's darkness. But you're going to keep shining. A huge appreciation to Zoe Isaacs. And Zoe Isaacs said to me, you know, Thando, you don't have to dim your light for anybody. You might be a bit extra for some people, but for the right people, you are always perfect. There are people who need your content. There are people who need your energy. And you should get this. Your family ain't going to support you. Sometimes your friends ain't going to support you. The people that know you won't support you. They won't reach out. But you're not doing it for them. You're doing for the people that need your vision. You're doing it for the people that need your content. The reason why we were all planted with gifts is so that we can go out there and discover these gifts. Work on them. Refine them. And one of my South African favorite rappers, Shane Eagle, talks about even a diamond in the rough is still a diamond. So the more pressure you are enduring, the more you are being prepared for the ultimate diamond that you should be. You are a diamond in the rough. You've been inserted where you are for a reason. And you have a role to fulfill. And I told myself, I'm going to choose this corner. I'm going to bring positivity. I'm going to start this podcast. I'm going to inspire people. I'm going to motivate people. And it's a decision that I make every single day. Even when I don't feel like it, I can be going through the worst. But then I still remember my message. Remember the promise you made to yourself. That's why I don't believe in New Year's resolution, man. I believe in action. Kanye talks about we're already 2 weeks into the year. When I recorded that episode with him, and he said New Year's resolutions have already been broken. No, I'll try next year. And you have 11 more months. It makes me think about what Sadhguru said in one of the videos I was watching. He said, if each and every month out of the 12 months, you could decide to face one fear, just one fear that you have each month, by the end of the year, you would have faced 12 fears. Tell me you haven't made progress. Remember, progress is also defined by you. You set the benchmark, not someone else. You don't know what's happening in someone else's life except yourself. So get into a habit of being self-critical, self-observant, self-determined. Have some self-confidence, have some self-determination, and most importantly, have some self-love. Thank God it's Monday. I am the motivational maniac, and we come to an end of this current state of mind. It takes more muscles to frown than to smile. Being kind to someone doesn't cost you anything. Saying positive and kind words to someone else doesn't cost you anything. A well doesn't complain when water is taken from it because it knows it has water in abundance. Be a well today. Choose to be a well each and every day. Give as much as you can. You can't always take. And remember, takers don't have limits. So the giver must have limits. They must have limitation to say, I'm giving no more now. Because takers are always going to take. I hope you can realize the life that was meant for you, Thando. The life that you were destined, and also the life that you fight for. That's who you're supposed to be. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. We close this one in the holy name of Shiva. I'm the motivational maniac. Thank you for tuning to yet another episode. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, notification bell, subscribe on Spotify. I'm on YouTube, Thando Nkonyana. I'm on TikTok, Thando_Nkonyana. I'm on X, simply_Tito. I'm on Instagram, simply_Tito. I'm on Facebook, Thando Nkonyana. And anywhere that you can be able to find me. But should you one day get to meet me, don't forget to show me love. Show me appreciation and acknowledgement. But even if you don't, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. Because the future version of myself depends on it. Namaste and shalom.